Overview on Project Builder. So here we will be discussing what is project definition and what are the controls at the project definition level, as well as we'll see how to create the structure, that is work breakdown structure, as well as what are the elements of work breakdown structure, and followed by the network. We'll see the functions of the network. So let's log on to the system. So once you log in to the system, you have a SAP menu. So to access the transaction code or the screen of Project Builder, you have two ways. Either you can go through logistic, then you can go to Project Systems, and then you expand to projects. So here you have Project Builder, and also from here also you can access it, as well as you can run the transaction code CJ20N. So once you log in, so here you have three parts in the screen. So this actually Project Builder is majorly used for creating the project structure. So all the information is created here. After creating, so once the project is created, then the project will be released, executed, and then it will be closed. So majorly, companies who are dealing with construction projects or IT projects or research projects, or it can be implementation projects, capital, investment projects, maintenance cost projects. Majorly companies use this, transaction code or the screen to, create the project and execute the project. So here on the left side, you can see the option of open. So folder icon like a folder. So once you click on that, you have a project definition. So here you have an option of opening the existing project, existing project, as well as existing project WBS, as well as existing project networks. The second, button is of creating a project from scratch. So here, when I click it, system, gives me option. You want to create a project? Do you want to define a network, or you want to copy the existing project, or you want to copy the existing network? So let us, just click on project. Let us, see what are the options available from if we are creating a project from scratch. So I clicked on that. So once I click it, so this project profile is a mandatory field which has to be filled. So once you select the project profile, basically project profile comes up with combination of multiple profiles and other controls. So this is like a backbone for the creation of the project. So without defining this, you will not get the information. So here at the top level, you have project definition. So now let's create one project. Okay, so I will just click on search bar. So let us search. So this is one of the coding mask. So I am taking it. I'm requesting system to give me the next available number. So what I do is I just select it. So here I request the system to find the next available number. So once I click it, system is providing me the proposed number. This is the number which is available, or I can use my own number. But best practice is you should follow the proposed sequence number. So these are the sequence number, which means that projects from like number 1 until number 6 is created. Now the available number is 7. So once I click on okay, so what the system does is system enters the number. So now I just enter the I just click on the enter button. So what the system do is, once I have selected the project profile, So system, copies all the defaults, profiles, and other controls which I have provided in the project profile. So uh, after selection of the project profile, system does not allow you to change the project profile. Okay, this is the one of the important step, right? So also in project in definition, you have the information of accounting. Okay, like budgeting, planning. Also you have accounting information, logistic information also is available, like project stocks. And you can see if you have a customer projects, you need to enter the sales organization information, as well as scheduling, profiles and network profiles, everything. So project definition consists of accounting information as well as logistic information. So project, what it does is project definition sets the system defaults. Okay. So once you have saved this, system will save the information. Okay. But project system, is not for transaction posting. So because as the project definition is not as a account assignment element, if project is if definition is not an account assignment element, generally is for controlling the hierarchy of the project. So below this, you need to create the structure. So you need to define the structure. So, and one more important thing is the root level or level 1 WBS number and the project definition number should be the same. So you need to remove this. So once you define it, so say remove and enter. So the because WBS is a account assignment element, so you can select while making the transactions from the accounting perspective or from the sales perspective. So this is an account assignment element, but project definition is not an account assignment element. So all the information will be reflected the WBS element level. You can create as many as WBS below, like child WBS, or you can say sibling WBS, and you can control that. Okay. Now after that, you have uh, just follow this tab. First tab is basic tab. Here you have a information. You have a field called project type. So here what you do is if you are having multiple kind of projects with the multiple streams, like example in IT I have IT projects as well as technology projects. I have some business improvement projects. So what I do is I have two options. Either what I can do is at the profile level, what I can do is I will just create a profile. I'll just create a profile, project profile with different project profiles. For example, I have 10 different customer projects, so I can create 10 different project profiles for 10 different customers. Or what I can do is I can create one project profile and I can define the different type of projects I have. So this is a selection parameters. So this basically will help you in reporting. Okay. So the next field is priority. Like what is the level of priority? Like is this very urgent? Is this urgent? Or is this a normal, or it's on low priority? So you should understand the business situation and you can define it. Fine. After this, you have a system status. This is a user system status and the user status. Basically, every business transaction have will fall through the process. First, actually, in project management, you have first phase is project initiation. Like if we just look into the SAP roadmap practice. So before we were having saying that project preparation, then blueprint, then realization, then finalization, and go live and support. Like this here also, system project will fall with the planning phase. First will be the planning phase, then second phase will be the monitoring and control phase, third phase will be execution phase, and fourth phase will be closing phase. Like this, it depends on the business business process. So and on that basis, what they can do is they can create it's a detailed topic we will discuss in user status. Okay, so one of the user status which I have created is quotation phase, execution phase, and technically close phase, and the project is on close phase. So here there are two actually parameters. One is system driven status as well as user status. Sometimes system does not cover the status of the project. So for that purpose we use as user status. Okay. The next field is person responsible. So basically, person responsible is used for authorization purpose. Okay. Also, it will help in once you again it's a configuration part which we'll be seeing later on. So backend when you need to configure, then when you click on search parameters, you will find the list of the guys who are responsible. So you can select them. Okay. Again, responsible person, and you can select the responsible person and relevant cost center. Okay. Planning indicators, operative indicators. In operative indicators, you have planning element. Planning element is for recording the plan cost. Account assignment element is for recording the actual cost. Billing element, basically billing element is used for recording the plan revenue as well as actual revenue. Okay, so the next tab is grouping. Basically is a different topic, so we'll cover that later on. Dates tab. So here the dates, at the date tabs you will define the project start date of the WBS and finish date of the WBS, as well as you have an option of maintaining the forecast start date and forecast finish date. Fine. So through this you can control the scheduling. The next is account assignment tab. Okay, so account assignment tabs, you have the organizational elements information. What is your controlling area? What is your company code? What is the profit center? What is the object class? Okay, so what is the plant in which this project has to be created? So all this information which basically it comes from the project profile. Okay, and the fourth tab is control tab. So control tab is also having the profile information. Okay, in like it has a investment profile information as well as costing information, overhead key information, interest. Again, it depends on your business requirements, and you can define this. The fourth is user profile, user fields, user defined fields. Some of the business have a requirement they have some additional they need some additional fields which they wanted to control the information. For that basis it is it is required. So these are backend customizable. We can see that some companies, they just mention here the contractual numbers, especially for the EPC projects like engineering, procurement and construction projects, or some contractual projects. What they maintain is in the user defined field they come up with their own fields, required fields. Okay, and also system SAP gives you option of enhancement tabs. You can add the tab itself. Okay, you can add the tab itself and you can maintain the information. That is again used by the that is done by the user exits with the help of ABAPers. Okay, so this is administration part. Okay, this gives the information of created by which user and last change by which user. all this information is recorded. Okay. So this was for the root level WBS. And for project definition, again, project definition will have, some system default information as well as project profile information. Okay. And basic dates, if you have to mention here. Okay. Here it has the same system status, user status, which have to be maintained. Project coding mask, which is defined, in the coding mask configuration. So it will reflect you here what is the convention used for defining the coding mask, as well as a responsible project. Responsible project manager. You can enter applicant who is working on this project. You can mention here, as well as you need to mention the start date and finish date also, if it's better. If you have the finish date and you can maintain it, you maintain it, or you can keep it open. Okay. So system will accept it. Factory calendar. But the best practice is to come up with the start date as well as the finish date. Okay. Factory calendar. You need to select the factory calendar. Okay. Organizational elements. You have a controlling area. From controlling, that is nothing but cost accounting and company code. From the finance perspective and plant. From the perspective, profit center, again from the FICO. So basically, this information of organization elements, will come up from the, other modules. But you have to, define during your project profile creation. Okay, to which company you want to create a project for. Okay, on which plant you want to create a project for, and which profit center, if it is applicable, profit center, for which profit center you want to make a project for. So that parameters you need to define at the project profile, so you can use that and create your project. Okay. Apart from that, here you have two work list and template buttons. So basically, work list is you have the list of the projects which you have worked, last projects which you have worked. Okay. As well as you have you can make your own work list, like project definition. Here you can add projects if you want. Also, you can add the WBS elements if you are willing to add more new WBS elements. You can add. Okay. You just select double click that project, so that project gets open. So this is how work list access acts like that. Okay. So at the template, if you see, what happens is when you open a project, so these options, you get the individual objects, get popped up. So what you can do is, with the individual object, is you can add the individual objects. You can use as a shortcut by just dragging and dropping the individual object whichever you want to create. Suppose if you want to create, like I have just selected the WBS element, so the new WBS element has been copied. Same for the network, and same for the activity, and same for the activity elements. Okay, and same for the material component. So by just dragging and dropping, you can create the individual objects, whether it can be a WBS, it can be a network, it can be activity. Okay. So apart from that, from here you can open the new projects. You can include the projects in the template. Okay. Standard project templates also you can add that that way. So there is one more thing which I just want to show you. That is, one second. Yeah. Sorry. Just come back. Here you have option of copying a project. Okay. So when you select this option of copying a project, see, your system gives you option of defining creating a new project by copying the existing projects. Okay, so you have three options here. You can create a new project by copying from the version and defining the project number as well, or you can create a new project by just defining the operative project. This is operative project. So the best practice is what SAP recommends is to prepare one standard project template and create new operative projects. Okay, because if we are copying from the operative projects, you have to spend a lot of time cleaning your project. Sometimes you will have additional network, sometimes you will have additional WBSs, sometimes you have additional activities which may not be required for your project. So you have to keep that in mind, and you have to prepare your project standard template. From that, if you copy, you can copy and create your own project. Okay, this is actually, it helps in if you are dealing with hundreds of WBSs. So it's a time saving job. Like if you have you got the new project, you got the project awarded, and you are working in the same industry, and you have repetitive contracts. Like you are getting the contracts. So working example, you are making constructing buildings, or making plans. So what I mean, the activities and the WBS, the structure, especially the project structure, most of the time 80% your project structure will be the same. So this, what it does is it will save a lot of time. Okay, so you don't need to enter again the project information. Like you don't need to enter the information by selecting the project profile and also the other information. So what it does is it will ease your job. Also the creation of hierarchy, also it will save your time, as well as it will save your time in entering other controls. Okay, so this was just the overview. Apart from that, you have option here also. Yeah, this is planning board. Basically it shows your project in a Gantt chart format. So this we will cover this during scheduling, so you will understand better. Also here you have hierarchy. You can check your project in the hierarchy format as well. You can see the your project in a hierarchy format as well. So this is for cost planning, and this is intermediate save. So in SAP project system, in project builder, you have two options of saving. Suppose if I just go up and save, what the system will do is it will just include my project in the work list. Okay, it will include my project in the work list as a last project. So if I use the intermediate save, whatever example, whatever information, like I've added the information, now if I save, system will not take it to the work list. Instead it will keep up so that I can work on the project. Okay, so this was the just overview. So we will go in detail in coming sessions. You can follow, and we'll look into that. Okay, thank you.